She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another day and she solving another case, cause she litigate with dignity and grace. She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another day and she solving another case, cause she litigate with dignity and grace.
Hello, litigators and opinionators. Court is now in session. So if any of you have watched part one yesterday when I was talking about this tragedy, there has been some recent updates in this case regarding the very disturbing case of Romeo Nance, a 23-year-old psychopath that resided in what area was this, y'all? Tell us, sister, where it was. Oh, Lord. I don't even know where I remember where it happened at, guys. I'm pretty sure we'll figure that out when we get back into the case. But guys, this case is terrible. It's absolutely horrific. This man killed 7 of his family members. Then he turned around, left the residence, murdered a Nigerian man, and shot another man in the leg. So in total, he shot 9 people. Then he ended it all by unaliving himself, driving to Texas. It happened in Illinois. So he drove from Illinois to Texas, where he was confronted by police, and during the confrontation, he shot himself and unalived himself. But guys, this case has gotten worse. So the first thing is we're going to go over the identities of the people that he unalived. Then we're going to go over the twist in this case, because this case took a complete left turn as it relates to who was actually helping him. Not necessarily. Hi, Bad News. Hi, Bruna. Hi, Tiffany. Yes, 8 girl. It was total 8. No, it was 8 girl. We'll get into all the numbers. But the twisted part about this is he had someone kind of supporting him, and that was actually in the house who he spared. And y'all, it's a hot mess when we talk about who that person was. But before we do that, let's just go over the identities of the people that he unalived. Crazy case, you guys. So he unalived 7 of his family members in 2 different houses. We'll take a look at this article, and we also have an updated timeline from the law enforcement, so we're going to go over that as well. But before we do that, I want to read this article really quick. Oh my God, guys, this case got crazy. I'm telling you, when you hear the twist in this case, it almost may have me angry. It almost had me angry. I almost had to go off on the screen when I saw this person who was actually, lying for him and everything. And she's going to be facing some criminal charges herself for supporting him. I'm about tired of these women out here doing this stuff. But anyways, so Joliet shootings, 7 people are found deceased in 2 homes. Cops were surveying after killing at a nearby property. Chief says it's the worst crime since I've seen amid hunt for suspect who was on bond. And guys, you are not going to believe who helped bail this dude out too. The same woman. Oh, we'll get into it, y'all. Pay attention and listen until you hear the twist in this case. So, is this the story where it says they identified? This is not the one where they identified. So this is the wrong article. I want to get to where the people are identified. Reign of terror. Motive remains a mystery. Let me see. Identities. If this article doesn't have it, we will find it somewhere else. I actually have its bits. I like the articles from. This is not an updated one, so let's see if we can find an updated article. Oh, look, it is here. Yeah, it is here. We read this one. But anyways, this is not the article because we actually read this article before. So let's go into another article. We'll just do the twist and identify who was unalived at the same time, okay? So the twist and the turn in this case was, it turns out, you guys, that his girlfriend was the one who was inside the house. Now, we talked about this yesterday when we weren't sure if she was one of the victims that was unalived. But what turns out is that she was there when this man unalived his family members, and she lied to the officers when they came to question her. So this girl was over here covering for this man, y'all, a hot mess out here to, so now she's facing criminal charges. Another twist in this case is she was the one that helped bail him out of prison for the crime he committed last year. So last year he committed a road rage situation with a woman in a car. There was a woman in the car. I guess they might have had some type of word exchange. I don't know. And during the word exchange, they ended up, she ended up trying to leave, and he shot at her in the car multiple times. He got really lucky because she didn't get unalived. She survived, but he ended up in jail for that, for multiple charges. This woman on the screen, which is a complete hot of a mess, y'all, she bailed him out of jail. This is a mess. And while he was unaliving his family members in the house, she was in there watching the whole thing. And when the officers ended up making contact with her, she was lying and covering for him. Y'all, this For My Man theme has got to stop. It is a hot mess. So she was lying for him. She was claiming she was a sister. All this just crazy stuff, you guys. And now she's facing criminal charges. So, y'all, this For My Man stuff has got to stop. When are these women going to stop, protecting these men out here who are unaliving people? So let's read this article. It's also going to go over, who the people were that were unalived, which is so very sad. So this is the girl on the screen who was the girlfriend. She looked like she on some type of drug. Anyway, she's 21 years old, guys. So the 21-year-old girlfriend of suspected mass murder Romeo Nance, Kylie Cleveland Singleton, was taken to the Will County Jail on Wednesday. That was today, Wednesday night, on a felony charge of obstructing justice. The Joliet police spokesman, Dwayne English, issued a statement announcing, during the course of the investigation of the discovered shooting deaths of 5 people at 2012 West Acres Road and 2 people at 2025 West Acres Road on January 22nd, detective identified Kylie Cleveland Singleton as the girlfriend of suspect Romeo Nance, as well as the mother of Nance's 3-year-old boy. So the hot mess woman and Romeo have a 3-year-old son too. So he left a 3-year-old son here on this earth. And that's another twist in this case, because the 3-year-old kid was missing. So the cops didn't know if this 3-year-old was unalived as well. So they were searching for the 3-year-old, and she was over here, the girlfriend, the baby mama was over here covering for the man, lying. Lord knows, she probably did more, but who knows? We don't know the full scope of what this woman did. It's crazy, guys, to know that there's a 3-year-old boy involved. I didn't even know this man had a whole son. Crazy. I hope that boy don't turn out to be like his dad. I'm just saying. Anyways, prior to English's press release, Joliet Patch learned from someone familiar with the neighborhood that Joliet police believed that Cleveland was inside the house. Y'all, the girlfriend, this hot mess of a woman, was inside the house, y'all. What? Sunday afternoon, she was there when he was killing his family, y'all, on 2025 West Acre Road, because she lives there, y'all. The girlfriend and the 3-year-old, all of them lived in this house with his family members, right? At the time of the 2 killings at the residence. So the house that she was at. So let me just break down and give you the organization of the 2 houses. So there's 2 houses, right? In one house, Romeo's intermediate family lives. That's his mother. He has 3 sisters that are in high school and 1 brother. Okay. Those are all and plus, those are all the people that live in one house. In a second house that lives nearby is his aunt and uncle. In that house, that was where the girlfriend was, inside the house when he unalived his uncle and his aunt. So she was there. I don't know which house he shot up first. I don't know if he shot up his mom, and his 3 sisters and brother first, and then went to the uncles, or he shot who first. But the evidence shows that this hot mess of a woman, well, she was only 21, but still, the baby mama was in the house when he was unaliving his aunt and uncle, right? This is crazy. So let's read that again. Inside the house Sunday afternoon, at the time of the two killings at the residence. So the 2 people that were slain at this house were Tamika Nance. She's 47 years old. She is the mother of Romeo Nance. Okay. And William Esther, the second, he's 35 years old. He is Romeo Nance's uncle. So it sounds like to me the mom was visiting, the uncle during this time when she was unalived, while she was either, I don't know if this is her brother or if this is her brother-in-law. Let me see. What's this man's name? His name is William Esther, and her name is Tamika Nance. So it looks like that is an in-law. So she was at her sister's house / in-law's house when she was unalived by Romeo, his own dang mama, y'all. Shot up his mom and uncle at that one house first. Okay. I don't know if it was first or second, but they're saying that was where those 2 people were slain. So his mom and his uncle were found in that house. It is unclear whether Cleveland was also inside the house where Romeo Nance's sisters were unalived. All 3 of them was killed, y'all. This is a mess. And a lot of them were in high school. Or whether Cleveland was outside in the car, y'all. In the car. It's this whole theme of for my man. Oh my God. This case has me so livid that the baby mama was sitting here in on this whole shooting spree. Can you believe that this case turned to a complete left field? I don't understand it. This makes me so mad. Anyway, there was a neighborhood source that advised. So the neighborhood source apparently saw this woman there the whole time these shootings were going on. English said the whereabouts of the suspect's child, that's Romeo's kid, were unknown on Monday. So they were out here searching for his kid because they thought that maybe his kid would have been the 10th the 10th victim, because like I said, he shot up 9 people. 7 of them was his family members. 2 of them were people that were not related to him. They were just like random people. One was a Nigerian who died. Another one was shot in the leg who lived. So one of his victims lived, the rest of them died. That's not a good number, okay? Dang, only 1 survived. Anyway, so they were on Monday, they started looking for the 3-year-old kid because they were like, well, where's the boy at? And his whereabouts was unknown on Monday afternoon after the 7 bodies were found at the West Acres Road, 2 houses. As of Joliet police investigation progressed, detectives learned the small child may be with his mother and grandmother at a house in Plainfield. That means they learned that he was with the baby mama, with her mom. So he was with her, the 21-year-old, the girlfriend. He was with her mother, basically. That same Monday evening, detectives traveled to the address in the 15,000 block of Joliet Road in Plainfield and located the child as well as Cleveland. Upon locating Cleveland, police said she agreed to go to the Joliet Police Department for questioning in reference to the homicides. So they ended up bringing her to the police station to question this hot mess of a woman, right? And don't give this woman excuses because she's 21 years old, because I know somebody is going to be like, well, she's only 21. I don't care. She know right from wrong. Okay. She knew enough to have a whole 3-year-old baby. Okay. Anyway, detectives believe she made statements to prevent the apprehension of the suspect and obstruct this investigation. So she was over here preventing them from finding him at the time. And what's very interesting, guys, is while he was unaliving 7 of his family members, I question, why did he spare the girlfriend? That is a huge question I have. Even though, yes, I'm glad somebody's alive, but the question is why he spared her. It just really tells me something. And the good part of this whole thing is she's still alive. So maybe she can divulge the motive behind why the hell he just snapped. Why did this man snap out of nowhere, y'all, and take out his entire family, his mama, all his siblings, and his aunt and uncle? What led him to kill everybody? Okay, I don't understand. So that's the thing that I'm happy about, is she is alive, because during this interrogation, I'm hoping somehow when they interrogate her, she'll divulge why he did this. Like, what the heck happened, guys? It's crazy. This case is absolutely insane. Why he just took out his whole family, basically. Okay. Now, this investigation remains active and ongoing. There's no further investigation regarding the arrests available at this time. Meanwhile, the person familiar with the West Acres Road neighborhood told Julia Patch that more criminal charges are still possible for the girlfriend, the baby mama. Cleveland Joliet Patch learned this week, was responsible for coming up with, okay, look at this, guys. This is the part I need y'all to really pay attention to. This is a crazy hot mess. So the Joliet police, they learned this week that the baby mama was the one who came up with the $10,000 cash of her own money. She came up with $10,000 cash yet last year, March 10th, 2023, to bail this hot mess of a man out of the Will County Jail. He was taken away in handcuffs by Joliet police on January 26, 2023, on a $100,000 bail for charges of aggravated discharge of a firearm, aggravated assault, aggravated unlawful use of a weapon, reckless discharge of a gun, criminal damage to government property. So that particular charge happened last year, and that was the case where he basically was in a road rage incident with another random woman on the street, and he just shot at her multiple times. That was the case. This hot mess baby mama gathered $10,000 to bail this man out after he done shot at another woman. Like, who does that? She is no better than he is. And this woman is sick. She knew this man was a potential murderer when he shot at that girl last year, bailed him out with $10,000, y'all, then turned around, sat in the house as he unalived his mom right in front of her and his uncle, and went to unalive all of his siblings and his aunt. Like, who the heck does that? And what was really going on in this case, y'all? Right, Bruna, she had $10,000. Like, where did she get $10,000 at age 21? Y'all make it make sense. $10,000? Where'd she get that kind of money from? Yeah, was she tricking? I'm just saying. What was she doing? Anyway, the baby mama, I'm not going to even call her Cleveland. I'm just going to call her baby mama because it's more simple for all of us. Baby mama lied on the Will County records and listed herself as being the killer's sister, y'all. So she lied and said she was his sister. Girl, bye. It seemed like she would do anything for a man, like anything. You're lying for the man. You're getting $10,000. Now you about to end up in prison where you belong because you over here for my man. They always do this for my man, for my man. I'm about tired of this for my man and these loyalties to these hot mess of a non-existent psychopath. I can't even give him a name because he's such an evil person. Anyway, Julia Patch discovered she also listed herself, baby mama listed herself as living at the residence. Remember, we talked about this yesterday because we were trying to figure out, did he unalive the baby mama too? And we didn't know, but now we know she was in on the whole thing with her hot mess. You know, they probably were sitting up here talking about this before it even happened. You know what I mean, in my opinion. Okay. This is crazy, guys. This case got me so angry. I'm just angry. So if I'm a little more assertive than I normally am, forgive me, y'all, because the baby mama then took me out to a whole nother level, y'all. Okay. The person familiar with the neighborhood told Patch on Wednesday that she did indeed live at the residence with Romeo, her and the 3-year-old, his baby. Everybody was at this house. Now, I wonder there was so much tension. This is starting to make sense to me, the dynamics of the household. Because you see, we have this hot mess of a lowlife living off his mama. Then he got his siblings in the house and all this pressure in the house. Plus, he has his baby mama and a 3-year-old in the house. Imagine the dynamics in that household. There were probably a lot of nights of drama. Probably the mother, Romeo's mother, did not like baby mama, in my humble opinion, and was probably getting into arguments with baby mama, getting into arguments with Romeo about his baby mama and saying, y'all gonna have to leave my house because I can't deal with y'all anymore. It sounds like it was drama between baby mama, him, it's like baby mama and him versus his mother and siblings. I think there was a lot of issues with that whole situation. And so baby mama and Romeo was sitting here venting about this issues going on in the dynamics of the household. which ended up causing him to explode one day, because these people that he unalived probably had got on his last nerve about arguing with him about certain things. Like probably his siblings were calling him low life because he's a 23-year-old man with a baby mama living with his parents still, doesn't have anything going for himself. So he probably had to hear that from his siblings, then had to hear his mom. And I'm not blaming anybody, guys, so please don't come for me. I'm just trying to think of why he did this. I'm trying to figure out a motive. I'm like, why did this? Not that anything he did justifies what he did, but us as humans, it's our nature to want to know why. Like, we just want to know why, even though we know it's not justified and there's nothing that could have, been a valid reason to take anyone's life. But we just, as humans, want to know, like, why did you do this? So in my own mind, I can just imagine the tension going on in that house with a baby mama there. Then they're young. And this hot mess of a man who has no sense of self-control. We already know this because he couldn't control himself while driving and shot up, almost unalived a woman in a road rage incident last year. So we know this man is a walking time bomb. So imagine in that household, we got siblings telling him what a loser he is because he's a 20-year-old man with a baby mama living off his parents, don't have nothing going for this man. Probably he a broke, busted, and disgusted man living off his parents. So he had to deal with that, probably, in my mind. Plus probably arguments with his mom. Plus, you're going to back your sister and your siblings. You already know siblings back each other. So I'm guessing, and everything I'm saying is speculation. We don't know if this is true. I'm speculating that probably his aunt and uncle was getting on him as well. They all live near each other. So they all talk with each other. And probably Romeo's mom would go to her sister's house and her in-laws' house and complain about Romeo and his baby mama. Probably talking about, I cannot stand his baby mama. I can't stand this. I already told them they need to leave my house because I'm about fed up with them. And then we got Romeo and his baby mama probably talking to each other like, oh my God, I'm about tired of them always complaining about us. Da, 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 da. And Romeo, he can't control himself. So one day he just snaps. That's what it sounds like to me. Because it sounds like a situation where mom was at, her sister's house venting again about Romeo and the baby mama and can't stand him. Because it's interesting how the mom was found with the uncle. So it just sounds like maybe they're over there talking, having some coffee, whatever. Just like, I'm about tired of this situation. I'm about to have him move out. It's it. He got to get his own place, him and his baby mama, because I cannot deal with it anymore. And probably was talking to Romeo, having a meeting with him, probably telling him, look, you and your baby mama going to have to leave, because I just cannot take this anymore. And maybe, the uncle and aunt want to intermeddle and they want to support the mom and say, you know what, you need to listen to your mom because, this is not working out. And Romeo, with his low life self, don't have anything going for him, snapped. That's what it sounded like to me. It sounded like this dude just lost it and shot up his mom and his uncle, and then went and shot up his other siblings who he had resentment towards because they probably said snide remarks to him and, throughout the time of his, his life or living there. And he just was having a get back spirit. That's what it sounds like, guys, because it's interesting, the logic behind why he spared the girlfriend who was in the house. He could have easily killed her out of the fear of her being a witness, but he didn't. So it sounds as though it was like a Bonnie and Clyde situation where she was the only one, like, having his back. You know how these toxic women are. She was a theme of getting this man out of jail and all this stuff. So it sounds like a Bonnie and Clyde situation, which explains why he spared her life, because she was there, and he spared his 3-year-old son. That's what it sounds like. This psychopath knew exactly what he was doing. So people can't give the excuse of, oh, he just lost his mind and he had a psychiatric, episode. No. This was very strategic, and he particularly chose the people he unalived. Now, as it relates to the 2 other people who were shot outside of the house who were not related, who knows why the Nigerian was unalived? Who knows why the other man was unalived? I don't know. Maybe he was trying to rob people, because he was charged with robbery back in 2019. So who knows? He probably was trying to get away and tried to rob them and ended up shooting them in the situation. That's what it sounds like to me. But let's get into the rest of this. I'm just trying to figure out why he did this, y'all, because that's the only way. I don't know. I can really process this case, because this case is crazy. Anyway, Will County's jail records from Wednesday night listed Cleveland as being booked into custody at 8:18. And the address she gave, this is the baby mama, right? Baby mama was in custody today at 8:18. And the address she gave the jail staff was 15400 block of South Joliet in the village of Plainfield. Y'all, why are they over here doxing people? These news reporters out here about to get people harassed. That address is the address of her mom, and they over here listing her address, y'all. This is a hot mess. Good thing I don't have it up here because we're not trying to get, well, I'm about to have it up here, y'all. It's not me that's doxing her. It's the news reporter. Anyway, this is a copy of what the baby mama signed. So here you can see this is the form that a defendant gets when they're arraigned in court and they're going to be bailed out. This is the typical form you'll see. They have like all the certain possible pertinent information and they will check the box that's relevant. This is a notice to person providing bail money other than the defendant. So somebody provided bail money and it's the baby mama's on here. This is the form for Romeo last year when he was bailed out. And the person here that bailed him out, you can see, is baby mama, Kylie. And she paid the $10,000 and she lied on the bail bond form saying she was the sister, y'all. Can you believe this hot mess? This is the actual form she signed, claiming she was a sister. I am about done right there. Girl, you know you're not his sister. Don't lie. This baby mama would do anything for this man. Okay. So see, she bailed him out last year, March 10th, 2023. You see the date here. The address she used, look at this, is the 122 Waker Road. That is where the family members live. So she was living with his family, y'all. This, I'm telling you, that house had a whole bunch of drama in there. And the division was between Romeo, his baby mama on one side, and then the family members on another side. That's why I feel like this woman was spared. And she's just so loyal to her man. And now she's about to be loyally in prison for her man. Okay, I'm about tired of these women out here for my man themes. Okay, let's take a look at this video that talks about the case.
More light shed today on the horrific killing of 8 people in Joliet.
Yeah, police are retracing the path of the killer to his death in Texas.
Nate Rogers has been tracking the tragedy in Will County from the beginning. Nate.
We've been in contact with the victims' family members as well as their colleagues, many still too distraught to speak on camera at this time. We also now know for sure the relation of those victims to the suspect. The Will County coroner identifying the victims as the suspect's mother, 47-year-old Tamika Nance, his aunt, 38-year-old Christine Esters, who's a corrections officer at the Joliet Treatment Center, also killed 35-year-old William Esters, the suspect's uncle.
Wait, hold up. Wait a minute. Don't go there because I'm not with it. He shot up his aunt that's a corrections officer too? Oh, no. Okay, I didn't know she was a corrections officer, y'all. He over here shooting up correction officers. Right, Crystal. She does not love herself enough. Why would she stand up? Right, that's what I'm saying. She clearly does not. But I did not know, guys, his aunt was a corrections officer. Shot up a peace officer too. This man just had no care in the world. Wow. So look at the list here first of the adults that were unalived. His mother, she was Tamika Nance, 47. The aunt, who was the corrections officer, 38. So she's the younger sister of Tamika. So it sounds like these two are in here talking. Then we got William Esters, he's 35. Oh, she was rocking the boat. She her little youngin' of a husband. Anyway, let's get back to this.
Uncle, also 31-year-old Joshua Nance, his brother who was bedridden. Finally.
Oh my God, y'all, did y'all hear that? Sorry, I gotta stop this. He shot up his bedridden 31-year-old brother. Oh my God. How do you kill your bedridden brother? Like, make it make sense. This dude was like literally demonic. I think anybody who unalives any human being, period, is demon influenced. I really feel that. There is no person who has a true heart can kill a human, let alone a bedridden man who is his brother. Like, who does that? He unalived his brother. What was his brother gonna do? What was his bedridden brother going to do to him? Now, that one doesn't make sense to me, y'all. I didn't know the details that the 31-year-old brother was bedridden, but that is very sad. This man is evil, right, Bruna? Bruna says his mugshot says it all. Exactly, girl. Who smiles in a mugshot like you at an Academy Award? Like you got the award of the year. But the bedridden brother, that really, guys, I'm sorry. That one takes me out. I might be stopping this here and there because it's a little emotional, but I just cannot believe this.
The suspect's three sisters, 20-year-old Alexandria Nance, 16-year-old Alana Nance, and 14-year-old Angel Nance.
Oh my God, a 14-year-old though? Really, Romeo? And a 16-year-old? These kids didn't even get out of high school. Who, like, what demon took control of this dude to kill a 14-year-old, a 16-year-old, and even a 20-year-old? She just now became an adult. Oh my God. So he was the second oldest because the age range starts with the oldest, who was the bedridden. He's 31 years old, right? Then the second child was this demon right here, Romeo Nance. He's 23 years old. The third child was Alexandra, 20, and then Alana was the fourth, and then Angel was the fifth child. So that's kind of how the order of the children went. But guys, he killed his own 14-year-old sister and 16-year-old. Like, this dude is demonic. I feel like, because imagine there was a demon that like took control of this dude, but it's like the demon selected who was going to be unalive because he spared the baby mama. Like, seriously. Then he goes and unalives himself. That's why I feel like it's just, guys, what else explains a person going out and killing and exiling his entire family? Y'all make it make sense in the chat, because I cannot make it make sense.
All shot to death.
We can't get inside his head. We just don't have any clue as to why he did what he did.
Police now believe the suspect 20.
Sir, yes, you can. Yes, you can. Don't give me that excuse. You can find out the motive by talking to Miss Baby Mama of Romeo. If you talk to Romeo's baby mama, you will find out why he did this, because he probably already told her and discussed this with her for why he flipped out and shot all these people. They need to go back and they need to talk to baby mama and figure out how they're going to try to give her give her incentives to be more open and tell why he did this. Because now I really don't feel like she has a reason to protect for my man, because her man is no longer here on earth. So she really has no motive to protect him at this point. He's not here. So if they really want to know the motive, you guys, they need to talk to baby mama. I'm not going to buy that they cannot find that out, because I bet you she knows what happened.
Inside his red Toyota, landing in Texas. Romeo Nance committed the Hayden's murders Sunday afternoon, then jumped on the road inside his red Toyota, landing in Texas. Police say Nance swapped his license plate with a stolen one before being chased by U.S. Marshals at this service station in Natalia, Texas.
And guys, you know what I speculate? Before he unalived himself, I guarantee you he called baby mama again. Probably wanted to talk to his son one last time, had a conversation with his little boy, talked to the baby mama, and then unalived himself. That's what I speculate happens, right? So if the officers really wanted to know what happened and why it happened, they need to dig deeper and they need to talk to that baby mama. Right? She is demonic, feisty goddess. She definitely is. Because she was she sat here and bailed out this man last year after he almost unalived another random woman. So she definitely knew what a demon he was, and she was sitting here supporting this demonic man. Oh, it's just, this case is making me angry, y'all. Forgive me, because I'm not going to be my jolly good fella self tonight.
Force officers with the United States Marshals Service observed Mr. Nance armed with a firearm fleeing from the vehicle.
Authorities say Nance eventually shot himself after a confrontation with police. Detectives went to his home here in the 2200 block of Acres Lane Monday, finding blood on the front door. Inside, 2 relatives were dead. At the family's second home, 5 others discovered murdered.
We do believe that the shootings at the 2200 block were the original shootings, and then the 2 random shootings took place shortly thereafter.
Unrelated to this crime scene, police say Nance, who has a criminal history, then allegedly killed 28-year-old Doyosi Bakari and shot a 42-year-old man, also in Joliet.
During the course of this investigation, we determined that a 3-year-old boy was unaccounted for, and we quickly located that child with a relative in a nearby community.
And as you can see, more than 24 hours after the start of this investigation, the crime scene still remains blocked off. We know that crisis intervention teams were out here throughout the day speaking with neighbors and with family members as well. Police also telling us they don't believe that the suspect had any association in Texas. That is the latest here in Joliet. Nate Rogers, Fox 32, Chicago.
Of course he didn't have any associations in Texas. This guy was clearly trying to flee for as long as he could until he eventually got caught, and he made up his mind that he was not going to go to prison. So his ultimate decision was to take his life. But I don't doubt for one moment that this hot mess of a baby mama, this trash bag of a lady who's sitting here bailing this man out and for my man constantly supporting him. She look a hot, guys, let's put her back on the screen real quick, because whoo, she got me feeling a kind of way right now, y'all. I'm just, we gotta, guys, ladies, we gotta do better. We gotta stop supporting these men out here. You guys, some, not you guys. I'm not talking about anybody who's watching this video. I'm saying some women out here who will go to bat for these men out here who are lousy, who are committing crimes. They think it's cute and they think it's them. She got lucky, okay? She got lucky because she's still alive. But a high percentage of women who are out here supporting these kinds of violent men end up unalived. This just happens to be one of those rare instances that he spared a baby mama, okay? So it's like women out here need to do better. Like, have some dignity about yourself. Have some standards. You don't need a man all the time to be happy. If this man is out here, he can't even follow the law. Get out of there. Now this woman is facing significant amount of jail time. You know, she's not going to be able to be with her child. Her child's without 2 parents because she's out here supporting this violent man who had anger issues. And she's probably just as bad as he is. Look at her face. She looked just as much of a hot mess as he is. Okay. Like Bruna says, she says they planned this. That's why the child wasn't in the house. Girl, you know what? You might be right. Because how was the kid conveniently not in the house? It sounds like it was planned. Like Bruna's really making sense, because it sounds like they had been venting a lot about the family, because the family probably couldn't stand this woman. That's why you look at her face. She doesn't have any sadness on her face. Let's go back to her face real quick. She doesn't have not 1 ounce of sadness. She looked like she just had just about fed up with everybody, but doesn't care that the family member is gone. Look, she witnessed murders and she doesn't have any ounce of tears on her face because she couldn't stand the family either, because they had not liked her. I don't think anybody in Romeo's family could stand her. And of course, they were nagging Romeo about getting his life together because he just was a hot mess. And there was probably constant arguments. So like Bruna said, I mean, this could have been planned because the 3-year-old kid was conveniently not at the house. So there was an updated press conference that happened that kind of outlined the timeline a little bit more fuller. So we will take a listen to this press conference and hear what they had to say.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Bill Evans, Chief of Police, City of Joliet. I wanted to begin by thanking our assisting agencies that played a very significant role in this investigation. Our federal law enforcement partners, including the United States Marshals, Fugitive Task Force, the Texas Rangers, and local agencies in Texas, the Will County State's Attorney's CAC, the Will County Sheriff's Police, and obviously the Joliet Police Department. This incident has had a tremendous impact on the city of Joliet. It's had a tremendous impact on my agency, both mentally and physically. Our officers and detectives worked tirelessly throughout the night and early morning hours to advance this investigation. As you are aware, yesterday afternoon, the JPD was summoned to the 2200 block of West Acres. It was quickly determined at that time that 2 homes on that block contained a total of 7 persons who were all shot to death. Through our investigation, we are now comfortable saying that this multi-victim homicide occurred Sunday afternoon. When our officers arrived, this was no longer a fluid, active scene. Shortly after, we were confident that the offender had fled the area and was no longer in Will County or the city of Joliet. Our detectives worked quickly and identified a suspect in this matter and disseminated that information to media outlets immediately in a very rapid fashion. As you're aware, that subject was Romeo Nance. During the course of this investigation, we determined that a 3-year-old boy was unaccounted for, and we quickly located that child with a relative in a nearby community. Shortly after 9 p.m. last night, we were notified by Texas law enforcement authorities and our federal partners that our subject, 23-year-old Romeo Nance, was killed by a self-inflicted gunshot wound after a brief confrontation with law enforcement. We have confirmed the victims in this case were of a variety of different ages. Inside the residence at 2212, there was 4 females, aged 14, 16, 20, and 38. There was also a 38-year-old male at that residence. All were deceased. At the address of 2225, there was 1 female, age 47, and a male victim, age 35. They too were deceased. I want to remind everybody this is still a very complicated and active investigation. We are still relatively limited in how much information we can provide, but we will continue to get as much information to you in a timely fashion when that information is available. Thank you.
Consider that New Year's resolutions are not the answer for you this year. You need real solutions, and
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dan Jungles. I'm a Deputy Chief with the Will County Sheriff's Office, and I'm going to give you a brief synopsis of what has occurred thus far involving the Will County Sheriff's Office. On January 21st at approximately 4:27 p.m., deputies with the Will County Sheriff's Office were sent to an address at Pheasant Run Apartments, located off of Pheasant Run Road and Route 53 in Joliet Township. While deputies were en route, they were advised that there was a man found bleeding from the head for an apparent gunshot wound. Deputies located a critically injured male, later identified as Toyosi Bakari, age 28, of Joliet.
Now that is how this whole tragedy started, guys, is when they came upon the 28-year-old Nigerian man who had no relation whatsoever to Romeo. So they saw him out. He was shot in the head. He was still alive at the time. And that's when they took him to the hospital. And that's how this whole investigation happened. They had video surveillance of the vehicle, and they ran a license plate, and they ended up determining that he lived at a particular location. So that's when they came to that residence. They stayed posted over there, surveying that house for a while to see if Romeo was going to return back to the house, but he never did. So that's when they went into the house and they discovered the 2 first dead bodies. The 2 first dead bodies that they seen was Romeo's mother and Romeo's uncle at the first house. So he unalived them. I don't know which order he unalived to what. Then they ended up going to the second family's house when they noticed 5 other deceased individuals. And that was the 4 siblings, 3 sisters and 1 bedridden brother, and the auntie who was at the house. So that's kind of how this whole thing happened. And then they went on a whole scavenger hunt trying to find Romeo's 3-year-old son and the baby mama. They talked to her, she was lying while Romeo was alive. She was lying to the officers, basically obstructing justice and preventing them from finding out where Romeo was, which further delayed their ability to find him because she was over here covering up for him. I'm telling you, these For My Man women, this generation is of the For My Man type of women out here who will ride or die for their man and are willing to go to prison and forsake their freedom and even give up their own children, as this woman has done, to preserve the freedom of these psychopaths out here. It's a sad, hot mess. But let's keep hearing what this man had to say.
Who was originally from Nigeria. Deputies began to perform life-saving efforts on Mr. Bakari at that time. He had a single gunshot wound to his head, which entered through the left portion near his eye. It is believed that the weapon used in this incident was a 9mm handgun, but further confirmation is needed from the Northeastern Illinois Regional Crime Lab that the Will County Sheriff's Office uses. While deputies were securing the crime scene, they were informed of another shooting that occurred in the city of Joliet, and that was located at the 200 block of Davis Street. The victim reported to Joliet Police Department the suspect vehicle in that incident was a red Toyota. Toyosi Bakari was transported to St. Joseph Hospital in Joliet, where he succumbed to his injuries. Our hearts break for the Bakari family and those that have been affected by this senseless act of violence. Once detectives and crime scene investigators were on scene, it was clear that robbery was not a motive to this. Money was found in the area near where Bakari was located. Detectives learned that he had exited his residence in an attempt to purchase some cigarettes at a local gas station. Video surveillance recovered at the scene showed the suspect vehicle both entering and exiting the Pheasant Run apartments in a short period of time. This vehicle matched the same description as the Joliet shooting. By 8 p.m., law enforcement was able to identify the suspect vehicle as a red Toyota Camry bearing license plate Q730412. Detectives utilized license plate readers exclusively to attempt to locate the vehicle. The suspect vehicle was known to be used by Joliet resident Romeo Nance, who has an extensive criminal history. Personnel with the sheriff's office began to focus on locating the suspect and his vehicle by conducting saturation patrols in known addresses where he's been known to, where he was associated with. When the vehicle could not be located, detectives with the Will County Sheriff's Office set up surveillance on the 2200 block of West Acres and Joliet in hopes that the vehicle returned to the residence. When the vehicle could not be located and the vehicle's movements were no longer active, as a matter of public safety, the Will County Sheriff's Office released the identity of that suspect vehicle. It was at this point that we believed that Mr. Nance had fled the Will County area and was no longer a danger to the public. Detectives with the Will County Sheriff's Office went to 2212 West Acres to contact the registered owner of the suspect vehicle. Detectives received no response at that residence. Knowing that the residence across the street was also known to be occupied by Romeo, they went to that residence as well. It was at that time that they noticed blood located on the front of the door and fresh gunshot wounds to the door.
Oh my gosh, guys, this was a complete bloody massacre. They saw bullet holes inside the, like coming from like the door. So he shot into the door. So did he start shooting outside? Because guys, there's blood coming out of the seams of the door as they're walking to the door. They hadn't even got inside the house before they saw the bullet holes in the door, and they saw blood coming from inside, dripping outside of the house. That is very horrendous, you guys. And if you guys know the smell of blood, it's a very strong smell. So you imagine 5 bodies shot up in the house with blood coming, seeping from outside Imagine the horrific nightmare that these officers trampled upon. These officers will have nights of terror that will haunt them probably for the rest of their life, seeing those images. My God, it takes a brave, I don't know what it takes to be an officer. It just takes a different kind of person to be an officer, because some of these people, these officers, lose their mind. That's why you find some of these men end up in prison for unaliving their own family or in domestic violence situations, because they're psychologically messed up. I can't believe that. All the blood seeping from the doors, y'all.
Detectives, under exigency circumstances, made entry into the home and located two deceased individuals. The Joliet police were contacted at that time by detectives. Once Joliet arrived on scene, a team of officers from the Will County Sheriff's Office and the Joliet Police Department went to the other address across the street at 2212 West Acres and discovered 5 more deceased individuals. All available law enforcement resources, including the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the United States Marshal Service, were being utilized to locate Romeo Nance and the suspect vehicle. Shortly before 6 p.m., members of the Will County Sheriff's Office, who were coordinating with the U.S. Marshals, advised that Romeo Nance was believed to be traveling in the state of Texas. By around 8 p.m., a helicopter had located the suspect vehicle on I-35, and Texas law enforcement was mobilizing additional resources to stop the vehicle. The Will County...
Just 3 weeks and we'll be in England.
What if England don't like me?
It's too far to swim back now.
What's that hole in the line?
My little sister Chantel.
So what make your journey all this way to England?
I'm actually here to assess a potential husband.
And make a decent home for children. I want to be a star.
You're back to Africa?
Why you never tell me how bad it was?
Sorry, y'all know how this goes when it comes to YouTube. They always have some type of random advertisement and it's just annoying. Let's finish listening to the timeline in this case because it really gives us a picture. Right, like Bruna says, we are just 24 days into the new year and we get this horrific news, like Bruna says. Exactly. It's like, oh my gosh. Like, I'm just absolutely floored at this case. I know we hear about crazy cases like this all the time, but this one just, it hits a different nerve, you guys. Like that's a whole family he wiped out. He killed every sibling he had, even his bedridden brother, his correction officer aunt, his uncle, and his mother. That's why I'm telling you guys, I feel like it was some type of ongoing dispute that was going on in that household between Romeo and his girlfriend on one side, the baby mama on one side, and then the family on another. That's what I feel like. It was like this ongoing beef because you know Romeo cannot control his emotions. Right, Crystal. I'm telling you, they're going to need some therapy after this one.
Into the gas station in Natalia, Texas. Task force officers with the United States Marshal Service observed Mr. Nance armed with a firearm fleeing from the vehicle. It's at that time they gave chase to him. He rounded the corner around the gas station and decided to take his life. As a reminder, these investigations are still in their infancy and detectives are still gathering additional information and evidence must be processed by crime labs. We know there may be many questions that you may have regarding this case and motives and circumstances involving this incident. Many cases like this, we may never know the truth or the motives behind these senseless killings. So many agencies were involved in bringing this case to a conclusion. The Will County Sheriff's Office would like to thank the Joliet Police Department, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, United States Marshal Service, the Texas Department of Public Safety, the Texas Rangers, and many other agencies associated to the U.S. Marshal Service that were task force officers on it. Mr. Nance's reign of terror in our communities in Will County is now over.
But is it really, guys, is it really over? He has a whole 3-year-old son, even though the son is little. You know the genetics run deep, okay? Those genetics run deep and they run strong. So my concern is the little 3-year-old might turn out to be just as a menace to society as his own daddy. I'm just saying. And who's going to raise this? Okay, you know who's going to raise this 3-year-old kid? The baby mama's mother. And we already know that baby mother's mother didn't know how to raise her own daughter because her daughter was a hot mess. So I just have no hope, y'all. I just have no hope whatsoever. Well, this case, guys, it really has frustrated me, the turn of events, to realize a baby mama was over here repeatedly bailing this man out. She is just as bad. Just because she was not the one that pulled the trigger, she was the one behind supporting this man repeatedly when he had these temper tantrums. From the time last year when she somehow, I don't know how this 21-year-old girl got a hold of $10,000, but somehow got $10,000. Y'all make it make sense. Got a hold of $10,000 to end up being able to bail this man out after he violently shot at another woman in the car. Like, who does that? She should have left him at that point, right? She's just as bad, guys. And then she's in the house while he unalives his family members and then turns around, guys. Turns around, obstructing justice, lying to the officers, further delaying their ability to locate this man. She should be ashamed of herself. Like, she's just as bad as he is, and she needs to serve significant amount of jail time. But you know what I think they're going to do? They're going to utilize the jail time hanging over her head to get her to speak about the motive behind this. They're going to try to say, hey, if you divulge information about, why he did this, what do you know more about this case? We'll cut off some of that jail time that you're facing. That's what I think they're going to do, because it's like, there's no justified reason for why he did what he did. But I'm sorry. I just need to know what caused this man to snap that bad. Now, we know he has anger issues because he clearly couldn't control himself in a road rage situation. So we know that was already an issue within this man. But what caused him to lose his natural mind and execute his entire family? Like, why? Why, guys? This case really just disturbs me in so many ways, man. Whew, America is in a very, very dark situation. Y'all, I don't know what else to do. I mean, there's nothing really we can even do to resolve it, which makes it so frustrating. No matter how we sit here and talk about these cases, at the end of the day, I mean, what can you do to stop these type of violent people? Because America just has so much freedoms and privileges and things that people can do. That's why we see the high crime rate here versus in other countries. Sometimes freedom is not always a benefit to society. I'm just saying, I like our freedom. I'm not trying to say take away our freedom. I'm just saying we need to have a little bit more stricter laws as it relates to the criminal system. These laws are too lenient. Way too lenient, okay? Too lenient. Anywho, guys, y'all are not too vocal in the chat, so I don't know. But like Bruna says, the 3-year-old or his bloodline will be like this demon. The bloodline is now cursed, right? That's what I'm saying. So when the law enforcement said, oh, we have nothing else to worry about, he will no longer be a threat to our society. Yeah, not for now. But don't forget, he still has a seed here on this earth that has that man's bloodline. And I'm just saying, I don't know if this kid can be raised any differently. You know, the kid's going to find out who his dad was and everything, because the mom's going to explain what happened Okay. He has a good for nothing mother who's a piece of trash. So it's like, I don't know, guys. There's no hope. But anyways, sorry to end on a negative note. You guys let me know what you think about this tragedy. May the beautiful souls who lost their life, man, may they rest in peace. And also the two individuals who weren't even related. I pray the Nigerian man rest in peace. And also the individual who survived. She better be thanking his lucky stars. He is still here. All right. Take care, guys. Have a good night.